There are over 35,000 youth that are currently homeless in Canada. Joe Roberts used to be one of them. But he was lucky. Given the help he needed at that time, he has become a successful business owner and an advocate for ending youth homelessness, spearheading the Push for Change, a walk across the entire country pushing a symbol of homelessness, a shopping cart.
Push for Change is a national engagement walking across Canada over 517 days, 9,000 kilometers, pushing a shopping cart, talking about what we need to do to prevent, reduce, and end youth homelessness. Today is day 502. We walked down to the BC Legislature, and we're here at mile zero, having traversed the entire country. For me, it's about lived experience. In 1989, I was homeless, a young person living on the streets of East Vancouver. I got a second chance thanks to my mom and an OPP police officer. I went back to school and became successful in business. In a lot of ways, the Push for Change walking across Canada has really been my pay it forward to give back to a country that's given me more than I deserve. As I stand here today on the steps of our British Columbia Legislature, I am a testament to what happens when a community invests. I am not special. I had special access to the resources that I needed to transform, to find that bigger side of myself. I had access to treatment. I had access to education. I had access to employment, and that allowed me to transform. Without access, without that roof over my head to be able to move forward, I don't know where I'd be today. I think it's bigger and it's growing, and until we invest in prevention and housing first strategies specific for youth and wraparound services, we're going to just see the problem get bigger. And when we don't address youth homelessness, we then inadvertently don't address adult homelessness. So we need to take a look at how can we prevent a young person from experiencing homelessness, or when they become homeless, wrap the services around them for them to exit quickly.
The Push for Change holds the possibility that we can get to a place where we prevent, reduce, and end youth homelessness. But we have to believe, because if we don't believe, we're dead in the water. If I didn't believe that I could get a day sober, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't believe that I could walk across the country, I wouldn't be here today. You have to first believe and then have the courage to change the things that we can.
Well, I think it's about collaboration. We need to look at organizations that we can bring to the table. Today we had the Chief of Police from Victoria, we had Threshold Housing, we had the local 324 UA plumbers and pipe fitters. We need to cast the net further and bring more people to this issue. We can't just leave it to one or two organizations, expect educators, parents, or police to solve this problem.
Our biggest issue is not necessarily with street entrenched youth that are visible, but it's the invisible population, the hidden homeless population that are either couch surfing, living in RVs, living in apartments with unscrupulous landlords, anyway, living precariously, while trying to finish high school, while trying to keep a job down, and trying to get their life together and get through adolescence. So it's a big whammy for them to try to become contributing citizens of the community with all these things against them. So we're here to offer support, and the key support is housing, because we are in an area of high non-affordability, even for working people. So it's even much worse for youth who have no jobs, no income, no references, and landlords don't like to rent to. So it's, again, the perfect storm against youth to getting ahead. Being central to having a house with a telephone, having internet connection, to having someone to go to when you're in distress, because most youth come to us with almost all of them come with anxiety, trauma issues, perhaps mental health issues, addiction issues. A lot of them are escaping difficult backgrounds, and they just need that hand up. They're not asking for a hand out, they're asking for a hand up. So they have the possibility of doing what other youth are doing who come from more stable housing situations and more stable families.
The key challenge that I see is that we need to make sure that we're not just helping the youth that are homeless, but we're finding out what the root cause of the problem is. And we really need to, and that's part of Joe's message, is the Push for Change message, is how to prevent youth homelessness. And how do we put services in place and supports in place where every youth in Canada has a roof over their head and they have the supports in place tonight. So it's really important that we tackle this early on and that we're supporting our youth, because at the end of the day, they're our future, and we need to make sure that we're not leaving anyone behind.
I think it's about thinking nationally and acting locally. Find a local organization that you can support. Not everybody can walk across Canada, but each and every one of us in our own way can push for change. But I think the biggest thing that we need to do is to hold the possibility that we can make a shift and change the way we currently address youth homelessness and get to a place where youth homelessness is not on the streets of Victoria or Vancouver, but in a museum where it belongs.
Push for change!
Awesome.